Renegade, 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 renegade.
They call a podcast Poppy. Kinkos, I see they tryna copy. Diamonds in the chains, bust down wrists. And you ain't never seen no like this. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. Like when it drop, whole game in the chokehold.
I be out on a late night, opposite a play fight. See slime break night, this break night. My wristwatch is like a brake light. And you can get it right on your gravesite. So tell me something I don't know. $50 pizza when I'm eating in Soho. I heard that you in love with the stuff in your in the hate me, they hate me. What should I do? Keep getting money. It's funny, I was just like you. Super Bowl Sunday with the facts. Security guard told Kevin Hart to relax. Oh!
Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. Like when it drop, whole game in the chokehold. Tell me something.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. On tap is what should be a pretty good matchup between the New York Jets and the New Orleans Saints. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
From a city that's played host to 10 Super Bowls, here's a look inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the New York Jets and the New Orleans Saints. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Saints team as they interplay. They've been playing well, really well. Winners of 5 of their last 7, but losers last time out. Meanwhile, for the visiting Jets, they have certainly got it rolling of late. Winners of 6 in a row.
And it's simple. The more you win in the regular season, the more likely you play at home in the postseason, and that can take you deep into January.
They go play action here on first down. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. Give him 30 yards there.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
They'll run it for the first time with Alvin Kamara. And he's going to be met at about the 43. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here we go now.
He'll look to throw. Trying to lay one up deep. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, third down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
They'll drop to throw. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down.
Pass interference, defense.
So instead of fourth
Automatic
down,
first down.
Well, so much for winning the down you put a lot of emphasis on because third down is key for offense and defense. Instead, you're going to stay on the field and start a new set of downs.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
56.
Following the penalty, it's Kamara. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. The numbers there for Kamara from a week ago. 11 carries, 59 yards.
Well, watching the film, we saw that things clicked pretty well for them in the running game last week. No reason to change in my mind. Continue to try and run the football, give it to them early and often in hopes of breaking down the defense.
He'll be taken down And the Jets get in there for the sack. Darren Lee leading the surge there. He drops him for a loss of 6. Getting into the act on the opening drive here with a sack. And remember, they had 5 last week.
And they saw that on film, and that meant that they had to get together.
Here we go.
Offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, offensive line coach, receivers coach, and say, how do we beat this pressure? Because everyone has to win against the defense and get the ball in the hands of the quarterback very quickly.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Now, the Jets defense making things difficult there. 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game and you look at the backgrounds of these kickers? It's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Darnold going to lead the Jets up now, 1st and 10 at their own 27.
No, check, Patriots.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. And not a whole lot doing there, as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Here's the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. And not a whole lot doing there, as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. The tackle there by Mark Barron.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
Throwing here on 3rd down, Darnold. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. This is taken at the 18. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. And an alley to run. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
Watch it now, Barney.
Now a 1st down carry by Bell. And he'll be dropped at the 23 after a pickup of about 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
On 2nd down, it's Bell. And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this 1st quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
They'll try and run for it with Bell. And he'll at least get him inside the red zone here, down to about the 19. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
But forget knowing where the 1st down line was. This defense created their own line of scrimmage. They won every battle up front, and a lot of times that is one-on-one. And if you win your one-on-ones enough times, your defense is going to be pretty good. They had more people to the football and snuffed out the play.
They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Looking left side and completing it to Thomas. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion.
And Brandon, every running back wants to use their speed in order to get out in front of things. Sometimes you just have to be patient, let blocks develop. On that play, that didn't happen.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Brown. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
All right, here we go. Boom, landed.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And defensive back Jamal Adams in on the stop.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They'll look to throw here. Well, the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. Leonard Williams in there to get him for what will be a loss of 13 yards.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. Give him 2 yards on that play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. Do you like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Bell. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. Tackle is made by Cameron Jordan.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Mark Barron, and the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Leopard! Leopard! Hurry up, here we go! 3-19!
Now a pitch out to Kamara, and he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play.
Detroit! Detroit! All right, here we go. 3-19!
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Avery Williamson leading the surge there. He drops him for a loss of 6.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's 3 sacks now, and this team came into the game in the bottom 5 in the league in sacks.
Yeah,
What's going on?
It's not been their bread and butter. I don't know. Is it nowhere to go here? He lost the football, and the Jets have recovered. Oftentimes you say some guys have a knack for creating turnovers. He forced a fumble last week, forces another one.
And one of my good coaching buddies, Frank Delano, always told me, hey, Davis, creating turnovers is not as much about skill as it is about desire.
Oh, I thought it was going to be will, because will rhyme with skill.
Come on,
With desire. We'll go with desire.
What are you, the rhyme master now?
It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Jets first down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They run it with Carson. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, they had that one snipped out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Back to the ground, this time with Bell. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. From the gun on 3rd down, here's Darnold. And incomplete here on 3rd down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted. But I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Avery Williamson there to make the stop.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
On 2nd down, Kamara. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Just a couple there on the 2nd down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive.
Here we go now. Blue, landing.
They'll set up to throw. And an alley to run. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Lucky 56. Lucky 56. Hurry up, here we go.
A give. This is Kamara. And he's got it up over the 40 to the 41. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground.
Detroit! Detroit! Here we go now. Green, 39.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And Hill with it over the middle. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. 11 more on that one, and another first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, Definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
He's got a man open. It's Cameron Meredith. 12 more yards there and another first down. A first opportunity upcoming in the red zone for the Saints. 1st and 10 right at the 20.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. This will be caught inside the 10. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball in the receiver.
And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Josh Hill, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Saints are able to cash in for 6.
The tight end position has always been dangerous, especially in the red zone, short field. But now even more so because these tight ends aren't necessarily the tight ends of old. They're the rocked-up wide receivers who have a little bit more speed. Way harder to cover than before.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And some room to maneuver. And it'll be an excellent return as he's all the way down inside the 25-yard line.
Forget the idea of flipping the field. They have now put themselves in a position to score points with that big-time return.
The give is to Bell. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
To throw is Darnold. Fights loose. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. They begin on the ground with Camaro. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people on deck.
Back 99 Philly, here we go. Hurry up, here we go.
So the challenge comes in inside of 2 minutes, and it gets overturned.
And it changes the whole format of what's about to happen because both sides had thought a certain call had been made. Now they have to flip back and start over.
The Saints on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5.
Hurry up, here we go.
Now back to throw. That's complete to Meredith. 70th catch for him on the year, and like so many others, this goes for a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
They'll look to throw now on first down. And it's caught. The tight end Hill. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
And partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Over the middle here to Brown. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Quick slant there, gets him the first down, 6 yards on the play.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Call it a 3-yard gain, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ikey's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd went to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
Now let's go. Blue, line it. Blue.
He'll look to throw. Catch here, left side, Thomas. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. As the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
They'll look to throw. On the check down, he finds Kamara. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great effort there with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Saints add on to their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Now the Jets offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk is a big decision here.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On second down, Darnold steps away to his left. Now he's going to let it go deep left side. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Now, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
Darnold now to throw. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Final 12 seconds of the half now as they've got it 1st and 10. Now a handoff. Here's Kamara. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. So it's halftime here in New Orleans. All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Now the Jets offense about set to take over as they head onto the field. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Back to throw, Darnold. He goes full extension, and he's got it. 14 yards is the pickup there and a Jet first down.
When you're a player of his stature, you don't just circle the games on your team's calendar.
Circle the Pro Bowl?
Without a doubt. That's a game that you just figure you're going to be in each and every year. That's because of catches like that. That's why he goes.
Now a play fake here on first down. And his throw is incomplete. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play, because that's been an issue for them in this game. Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
Here's Darnold, and he's taken down here by the Saints. Well, they went with the nickel. They throw in an extra defensive back. Coverage was very good.
Yeah, it was exactly as you would expect. A passing down, you bring in the nickel.
Oh, here's pressure, and the Saints block it. So they get there, they get the block. That can turn out to be a big play.
Everyone's looking for a difference maker. Everyone's looking for an edge. If you get a block punt in special teams, that could be the huge difference that you're looking for.
Here we go now.
They'll try to get the offense going with Kamara. And he'll take this one down near the 15. Darren Lee there to get him down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Hurry up, here we go.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. And he is out of bounds, getting it down to the 10. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and they're going to face a third down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver or tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Here's Kamara trying to run for it. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down at a yard.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
Excellent field position after the face mask penalty. 1st and 10 out near midfield. Now it's Carson. Bringing him down defensively, Jayon Brown.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
A give to Bell, and he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
Well, it hasn't been a whole lot of fun for Le'Veon Bell in this ball game, trying to find room to run the ball. I'm sure they're going to have to change some things up because he's so versatile. They've got to get the ball in his hands somehow and create some space because they're losing this game.
Well, defensively, you've got to key in on Bell, make him the focal point to stop him, and they've been able to do that.
And he has gotten better every year he's been in the league, always adding something to his game, one of the premier runners in the NFL.
He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Le'Veon Bell with his 16th touchdown of the year. And the Jets are able to make this a close game again. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown, because the field goals means they got in range but couldn't quite finish it off. This time they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
And on the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
Now Kamara. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. They run it again with Kamara. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
A man who's been busy this afternoon. It's Kamara again. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Back to throw here. Over the middle, that's caught by Meredith. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. Running with Kamara. And he'll bring this one inside the 35. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
On play action, they'll throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Jordan Jenkins in from his linebacker's spot. He's able to drop him for a loss of about 10.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Hurry up, here we go.
They'll set up a throw. Try to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Tremaine Johnson. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
And the hole closes quickly. He gets it across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it. Because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
They'll go again with Bell. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Throwing here on 3rd down. Darnold over the middle, and he's got Goodwin complete. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line. So that'll get him the first down as they get 9 yards out of that quick slant. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides.
Back now here live in New Orleans. It's Jet football, but they trail here as we start the 4th quarter. Here's a give to Bell running left. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield after a gain of about 4. Again, it's Bell. And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. That's going to be a 6-yard gain. It leaves him with 3rd down and just a yard to go.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
Watching that,
On 3rd down. It's Carson, and he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. There's just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
Brandon, this can be so demoralizing for a defense. They've had 2 opportunities to get off the field. They haven't gotten it done. So now your coordinator is going to call every blitz that he has, any type of exotic, something that they haven't seen before. And he's also telling the defensive lineman, don't worry about holding people up. Just get in gaps and try and make a big play.
And not only not getting off the field on 2 opportunities, clock continuing to run.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
Now a handoff. Running left is Bell. And he'll be taken down just shy of the red zone at the 21. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And he'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 14-yard line.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
A first carry for Trenton Cannon. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. A solid pickup at 13 sets him up 1st and goal.
A good run there off right tackle in an old school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009-2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
They'll try and run it in with Bell. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. Le'Veon Bell, his 2nd touchdown of the game, 17th on the year. And the Jets are an extra point away from tying this thing up. He's having a nice little game. Maybe already has an eye on that 3rd touchdown.
And how about what our producer, Christian McLeod, likes to say when they've scored touchdowns like this? He's put a tent up in Touchdown City.
So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Out comes the Saints offensive unit and the NFC playoff race. Let's have a look at it. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. Again, it's Kamara. And an alley to run. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
Well, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10.
Set! 319! 319!
They'll run. This is Kamara. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
They'll look to throw here. On target over the middle to Hill. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. But he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
And the Jets set to take the field. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
Now Bell. Give him 4 yards on the play, and that will lead us into the 2-minute warning. Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. And they're facing a big 3rd down now in this tie ball game.
Watch it now, Barney!
They'll pitch it out to Bell. And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
Well, they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Now a 1st down carry by Bell. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time.
Detroit! Watch it now, Barney!
On 2nd down, it's Bell. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. It'll go as a gain of 7 on the play, and it sets up a 3rd and inches situation.
Short gain, last 2 plays. Who do you think's excited about that?
Absolutely, this defense, they're saying go right ahead with those. The offense on 3rd down tonight, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. They'll try and run for it with Bell. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the 1st. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Here's Carson. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. They're making steady progress, but I see your face. You're worried about that clock.
I'm worried about the clock, and at some point, you have to have a splash play in there as well.
They'll run it with Bell. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. A Jet first down, 18 big yards that time. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Leopard! Leopard! No, Jack, Patriot!
They run it with Carson, and he's going to get this one down to the 30. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
All right, my man, this is now where it's risk-reward, because on defense, you've got to crowd the line of scrimmage. You've got to get in all the gaps, get up tight on everyone, and try and force the field goal attempt here. You can't let them break one big, but you know something, when you crowd the line of scrimmage, if they do pop one, it's going to go a long way.
Yeah, I was going to say, could take it to the house, but the magnitude of this possible upcoming field goal, every yard counts. And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left. So now it all comes down to Dustin Hopkins. 2 seconds on the clock. This for the win. And his kick is good. He knocks through his 3rd field goal of the game, and this one is the one that decides it. And the Jets are going to win the football game. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are ranked.